Bam ended up finishing off with 30 points and 17 boards last night in the win over Cleveland. So I just want to go through some of his film because it was a lot different than what we're used to in big Bam games. Usually, when he has a big night, if we think back to against Brooklyn or other teams, it's kind of getting the jumper going early and then going from there. This was kind of the opposite of that, where it was just uh, straight interior paint work all night, and that's a good development if you're talking about Bam Adebayo. First play, uh, just using his size early on was interesting because he was going right at Mobley. This is a team that has a ton of length, a ton of bigs. They're obviously without Jared Allen, but he was going right at them. The interesting thing that I want to show a couple times throughout this is the way he kind of abused a pump fake down low, and he basically got Mobley and others up in the air almost every single time. So you go back, drives, gives him the body, gives him the pump fake, gets him up, bumps him, goes up for the layup immediately. That aggression early is important. Getting to the basket early is important. But the way he's able to kind of just manipulate defenders down there is just a really good thing to see just moving forward. Another one early on in this play, you're going to see PJ Tucker was kind of down the court. Kevin Love was doubling. Something Bam has done for a long time is kind of play for the double, where he wants that double to come so he can make that pass out and let somebody go on the backside with a potential advantage. He's been waiting out the double to counter that. Like, he's waiting for them to leave, waiting for them to go so he can go one-on-one right here. He waits for Kevin Love to drift. Now he goes back to his post up, turns, gets into a left hook, which that left hand could end up being really crucial because teams that have a lot of size down low, like let's say even the Suns with Ayton, that kind of deter him away from straight up bodying in the post. He needs some type of post hook that he can get to that doesn't rely on just overpowering somebody down low to get to the basket. Another one, Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo pick and rolls have been really good kind of ever since the All-Star break specifically. Like, has a lot to do with Tyler Hero specifically just being able to do things in a pick and roll that he hasn't been able to do in past years. And a lot of that, if you're going to see early in this game, Tyler was reading his defender really well, that when a defender went under the screen, it didn't matter the possession, he was going to pull the three. And that kind of makes a defender and a coverage kind of change because they can't just let Tyler Hero take open threes all night. They started going over on the screens, and that's when stuff like this starts to happen. Now they have to trail him. Now it's a 2-on-1. Tyler can lob it up. Bam gets a nice little lob over the top on Ed Davis. So it's just interesting to see Tyler and Bam's connection grow over time in the pick and roll, because that's just a crucial development when you're talking about that Kyle and Jimmy can sit on the sideline and Bam and Tyler can run the show like we saw in Brooklyn. You're just going to want to see that a lot more often, specifically in those empty corner pick and rolls that we just saw right there. Another one, this is another scenario of this pump fake. You see him get it right here. He's going to throw a slight pump fake, get him up. Now he can just go rise up and dunk right down low. Like that stuff, just seeing the interior force from him, just seeing him be able to get into the paint, make his presence known down here against a team that's known for their length. Like, we didn't see Bam Adebayo or Jimmy Butler against Cleveland the other two times this season, but just seeing that is really promising. I kind of doubt we'll see a Miami-Cleveland playoff series because it seems like they'll be on other sides of the bracket. But it's still cool to see because they're going to have other teams that could be lengthier that they're going to have to deal with, and Bam's going to have to do this in a series. Another one right here, you're going to see him give the pump fake, go rise up, bank shot. That's an incredible shot, but it's just the point of him basically abusing that pump fake and guys falling for it every time. The other part of this I want to show is Oladipo and Bam have a pretty unique connection. And it's been shown, I think, one last season when Oladipo came, one of the first things you remember is him kind of hitting Bam on that little side pick and roll in one of those games. Here, you're going to see Depot not only get to the basket and blow by a defender, but he's drawing too. And when we're talking about rim pressure and maybe him developing something offensively for the team when Jimmy's maybe not on the floor, this is part of it. When you can draw two right here and you can throw an end around pass to Bam, now get to his floater, that's big time stuff. Like, that's the stuff that makes you say, we know what Oladipo is going to give you defensively, which we've seen specifically off the ball these past few games, that he can really do some stuff on that end. But if he can do this type of stuff offensively, that you can put him in some on-ball reps instead of sticking him in the corner from possession to possession, and let him do this, let him play make a bit, let him get to the rim, that'll be crucial. Another one with Oladipo, side pick and roll, empty corner, he refuses the screen. Now two are focused on him. He doesn't just throw it to that pocket pass. He gets around, throws it around Mobley's body, and it's an easy dunk. Like, that stuff is not just a simple thing. Like, that is just an all-star caliber player, an all-NBA caliber player that just can make plays in the offensive end. It has to just get some rust off to say the least. Another one, the final one. Uh, Speaking of everything about Bam and the pump fake, I just want to show one last time to solidify this point about him just abusing a pump fake. Tyler gets it. He could easily go back for the pump fake. He comes down, the putback comes down with it, gives the pump fake, goes up. Just seeing a way he can, we know when he can abuse a jab step because gets him into his jumper, but when he could just kind of manipulate certain defenders that are going to fall for a certain move every time. This time it was a pump fake. 30-17 in this game. You want to see him build off of that. Now it's another one tonight against the Timberwolves against Karl-Anthony Towns. I think that's another matchup that you're going to want to see him attack and play well against. So we'll see what happens.